fractions. Subtraction of fractions. So all of this is important. It's reading there is important. The important thing that specifically for fractions, when you are subtracting fractions, you ensure that the denominators are common and you subtract the numerators. So for this example number 1, you've got 8 upon 12, subtract 5 upon 12. So the mere fact that the denominators are the same, you can simply subtract the numerators. So this is going to be 8 subtract 5 upon 12. So once the denominators are the same, you do not interfere with them. You carry it forward in your answer and you work with the numerators. You are subtracting fractions, so you subtract the numerators. 8 minus 5 will give us 3 over 12. A careful look at 3 over 12 will tell you that 3 over 12 can simplify because 3 is a common factor of 3 and 12. So 3 can go into 3 once. So in the numerator, you have 3 divided by 3. 3 divided by 3 will give us 1. And 12 divided by 3 will give us 4. So 3 over 12 can simplify to 1 over 4. Example number 2, you have 7 upon 8. Subtract 3 upon 4. Now, if you notice, the denominators are different. So you have 7 over 8 and you have 3 over 4. So 8 and 4. So we have to try to make the denominators common. So you need to have a knowledge of numbers. You have to have a knowledge of multiples. We need a common multiple of 8 and 4, meaning a number that 8 can go into and 4 can also go into that number also. And a knowledge of numbers will tell us that 4 can go into 8. 4 is a factor of 8. If you multiply 4 by 2, you're going to get 8. So we can leave the 7 over 8 as is. And the 3 over 4, we can put it in a bracket, 3 upon 4. And we can multiply it by 4 by 2 upon 2. Okay? Because if we multiply 3 over 4 by 2 upon 2, we must multiply 3 by 2 and 4 by 2. Then we're going to get 8. Okay? Here it is. So 3, we're going to have 3 times 2 over 4 times 2. And we're going to leave the 7 over 8 going to stay as is. And we're going to have 3 2s are 6, 4 2s are 8. So now we have 7 over 8, subtract 6 over 8. So now we have achieved common denominator by multiplying 3 over 4 by 2 over 2. Okay, because 4 2s are 8. So now we are going to deal with the numerators just like what we did in example 1, because our denominators are common now. So it's 7 minus 6 upon 8. So now 7 subtract 6 will give us 1 upon 8. Okay, now that is one of the ways of doing that. There is another way to do it. So we can call this example number 2A. And a member of the class has done it slightly differently and wants to verify if what she did is correct. So let us discuss it. We can call it example number 2B. So this is what Lydia or Rhea, right? This is what Rhea did. And what she did is correct because as you can see, the answer is the same, 1/8, but she took a different route. Okay, let's analyze what she did. She have 7/8, and the whole 7/8 was multiplied by 4/4. Subtract the 3/4 was multiplied by 8/8. What she did now, I normally call that a quasi cross multiply. That is not a full-fledged cross multiply, a quasi cross multiply. Because the whole idea is to get a common denominator, a common multiple. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be the lowest common multiple. The lowest common multiple of 8 and 4 is 8. But there are other common multiples of 8 and 4. You've got 24. 24 is a common multiple of 8 and 4 because 8 can go into 24 3 times, 4 can go into 24 6 times. So 24 could work. Okay. But if you cannot find, if you have difficulty finding common multiple, time is of the essence. You're doing an exam, you can just swap multiply. You see the 4, you take that 4, denominator, you multiply to the other fraction, 4/4. So that's where that 4 came out. And you see that 8, she took that 8 and she multiplied to the 3/4. She got a common multiple of 32. So 32, that's an easy way to get a common multiple. Sometimes it will arrive at the lowest common multiple. Sometimes it will not be the lowest common multiple, but that's okay. If it's not the lowest common multiple, what you do, your answer now, after you subtract the numerators, you just simplify the fraction that you've got and simplify to the lowest terms. And here she divided by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 42 divided by 4 is 8. And here she has reduced it to 1/8. Okay, so this is perfectly correct. Now she has gotten 28 upon 32, because 4 7s are 28. 3 is a 24 over 32. Denominator is common, so you just work with numerators. So that will be 28 subtract 24. You keep your common denominator of 32, and then she got 4/32. And what she did now, she divided both the numerator and the denominator by 4/4 to arrive at 1/8. All right. So 32 could have been used. 24 could use also. Okay. 40 could use. 40 is a common multiple of 8 and 4. It can go into 45 times. 4 can go into 40 10 times. Okay. So the whole idea is getting a common multiple, and a quick way to do it is called like a swap multiply. And that's what she did. And then you reduce after, and here we arrive at the same answer, 1/8. So with this example, we realize now 5 and 4. 5 is not a multiple of 4, so I cannot just multiply 4 by a number and get 5. So I have to apply that swap multiply that we discussed earlier on, for example, number 2b, meaning the 3/5. We are going to multiply it by 4/4. Where I got that 4, look from the 4. The 1/4, that's where you got that 4. 4/4 minus, and the 1/4 now, we are going to multiply it by 5/5. Where that 5 come out? Right there from one of the 3. 5/5. Okay, so 3 4s are 12. 5 4s are 20. So we're going to get a common denominator of 20. 5 1s are 5, and 4 5s are 20. So now we have a common denominator of 20, we deal with the numerators. That will be 12 subtract 5 over the common denominator of 20. And 12 subtract 5, that will give us 7. And we keep our common denominator of 20, and we have 12. 3 over 5 minus 1 over 4 will give us 7 over 20. So just keep on subtracting fractions. And for more practice, you can just go to YouTube and then look at the examples that they've got. They've got some mixed numbers there. We'll deal with them after. All right. And then you can practice it. 2 over 5 minus 1 over 3. Try it out and look up to see if you get the answer. Please be doing lots of that. All right. For further practice. Specifically here, subtraction of fractions. Very important that the denominator is common when you are subtracting fractions.